Namaskar and howdy again. No, I'm not driving. It's just a moving screen in the background, like in the old movies. Yeah, that's what's going on. Anyways, so I wanted to make another video. As I said in the previous one, I've had some things on my mind lately. I just haven't had the time to make videos, and I'm on the road again, so it's a good time to do it. Yeah, so the next thing I wanted to talk about is people will disappoint you, and you'll disappoint people, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. I've touched on this before in previous videos and talks, but I wanted to go over it again and focus on a different aspect of that. And that's, other than that being like a natural thing that's just bound to happen, disappointment's going to happen at some point or another. Big or small, or both, several times, or just one big thing. Is that can teach you, that is such a teaching moment. That can teach you so much about yourself, about others, and the kind of interactions and relationships that you can find yourself in. And maybe the ones you want to avoid and the ones that you want to pursue. But anyways, some of those teaching aspects though are, and I've learned this. So again, like I said in other videos, I'm not trying to act holier than thou, better than thou, all that, no, because we're all human. We all have things to work on. Most of us who look like we're doing well are just avoiding a lot of things, and we're filling our lives up with distractions or props to make us look like no matter what happens to me, I'm okay. But you start to remove all those props, people and things, they fall apart. So, and I've had to learn this sometimes repeatedly, the same lesson, and other times, and or just the hard way. And I've had, especially the last romantic relationship I had was such a disappointment, in both ways. I'd say the last couple, actually. Like, I was immensely disappointing to others, and vice versa. And I've stressed the importance of recognizing your own boundaries and reinforcing them. And as long as they're not like really narcissistic, like entitled expectations, holding to those expectations, that works hand in hand with your boundaries. Now, you may not be entitled to that exact result, but like when you don't get that result, then you might need to be like, okay, this isn't working. Like, I told you what my boundaries and expectations were, and now you're just disrespecting them. And blatantly say, I don't want to give you X, Y, or Z, or I don't want to reciprocate in this way or that way. So, it's just, we're going to disappoint each other, but learning how to accept it and then move on is very important. And going back to, feeling disappointed and that being a teaching moment, like, oh man, it's just so true on so many levels. But, those last relationships, especially the very last one, that taught me, that's one of those repeated lessons I needed, but then it needed to be just like one final harsh lesson for me to get there. And it's like, again, what I've stressed: know your boundaries, reinforce them, make your expectations clear, And then you need to check out when the person does not want to be a part of that, does not want to respect your boundaries, and you will, hide you, cheat on you, lie, etc., etc. Like, you need to be able to respect yourself and be like, okay, well, that's what you want to do, go for it, but I'm exiting stage left, right? And that disappointment, you can turn that into, I don't want to say like, immense joy and pleasure, but it can be like, in a way, like that it's a reward. The silver lining is that it is rewarding, because when you take the lesson and you integrate it into your psyche, your heart, and your spiritual body and mind, it is rewarding, because going forward, never to let that happen again, or to do your damnedest, right, to protect yourself without disrespecting and hurting other people. And then you'll start to attract more the people and the relationships and the things in your life that are actually good for you. And good doesn't mean fun, easy, casual, non-resistance, non-confrontational. That is often not what it means. Because a lot of things that are good for us either don't taste good, right? They can be like, medicine can be bitter. Or like working out, ripping the muscles, putting all this stress on the joints and stuff, to a safe degree. Like, it's uncomfortable, but that helps make us stronger. And then doing sadhana, intense spiritual practice. It's not easy. It's not easy at all, but it's immensely beneficial for us. So, like I said in the previous video, there's no solutions, but only trade-offs. Like, I think it was Thomas Sowell that said that. Excuse me. So, you'll start to bring in those things that are actually healthy and good for you. And when you're in that working, like, learning phase of life, or maybe it's an entire lifetime, like, when you're really wanting to, transcend all that and get better, to grow, sometimes you, or, God, the divine, will bring those kinds of things, people, relationships into your life that are going to end disastrously, so you can learn, you can grow from it, right? So, again, we're going to disappoint one another, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. And that's different, though, than just purposely going out there, especially to people who, they may not have everything together, but they genuinely, like, love, respect you, care about you, have goodwill towards you. When you go out there to purposely be a dick, to disrespect them, their boundaries, to manipulate them, to deceive them, etc., cheat them, whatever, like, no, that's not okay. And it doesn't matter what you've been through before, prior to that. There's no excuse. You're not entitled now to go do that to other people, to act however you want. No, that's not good. So, because now you're just out to purposely disappoint somebody, not just because we're human and life happens, man. Things get tough. We sometimes say things we don't mean, or yell, or, just do really douchey things. And then some people do, far worse. And none of that is okay. So we have to try to check ourselves, rein it in, learn how to let go, detach, accept, and that is a process. And so again, sometimes those disappointments in life, whether it comes from somebody else, out of a relationship, or from a job, or, X, Y, or Z, it doesn't matter. Like, while it can be devastating at times, and really hard, really hurtful, that can teach us a lot. We can grow from that. So this is like just another reminder, especially because it's November and you got the mustache. It's sad to hear of anybody like, wanting to go down the road of life sucks, I'm just going to end it. But, mental health, they're much more or less likely to go seek help and to even, I would say, receive it in some regards than women. And so, just whoever you are, it doesn't matter, man, woman, whatever, just try to get the help that you need and keep at it, because you can grow from that. You can grow from those setbacks, from the hurt, all that. And I know that seems like, easier said than done. And for some of you, yeah, I would agree with you, but I just still have the belief that it's worth trying and trying again. So hang in there, y'all. Best of luck on your journeys. All right. Take care.